Hello and welcome. My name is Simon and we are the Whales of Wall Street. Apologies for not being able to be on the camera today. My dog is actually scared of the green screen, and usually I put him outside, but it's raining, so that would be rather unfair of me. So I do apologise for that, but I wanted to do this video on IOTX. It's something that I have a small bag of at the moment. I would be looking to increase that over this year and the next couple of years for sure. Not financial advice, but it is something that I'm very interested in personally. So what is IOTX? This is very much around the IoT spectrum. So if you've seen some of my previous videos, like I did on Fetch AI, for example, IoT or Internet of Things is something that I'm very much interested in, and definitely have an interest in investing in projects and businesses that are related to IoT and AI. So this whole spectrum of IOTX, it also pulls in like the machine to machine learning capabilities, as well as autonomous, whether that be vehicles or drones and things like that. So as we develop over the next few years, as we have done for previous years as well, of course, is we will be looking to integrate that kind of like 5G technology with existing sort of internet protocols and internet opportunities, where you've got things that basically are connected to the internet, but you have the ability to control them from wherever you are, and the opportunity for platforms like IOTX to power mechanisms that will allow to the kind of like machine to machine learning, so learning from algorithm, learning from human mistakes and machine mistakes to constantly improve. So I do recommend having a look on their website and keep an eye on their Twitter for all the latest updates. But for me, IOTX is an absolute beast, with gigantic potential in the near future and the distant future as well. Like I said, all the things that are happening across the world at the moment with automation and trying to build that autonomous way of life, whether it be through transport, supply, drone deliveries, taxis coming to you automatically kind of thing. All of this is going to be interlaced, and it needs ecosystems and projects like IOTX to make this work. So it's kind of like a machine as a service element, and it's very much around trying to build a kind of like verifiable free will kind of data trusted device system. So it's trying to bring in things like smart contracts and things like this to really boost the trust mechanism into automation and autonomous projects moving forward. So do take a look. For me personally, I'm interested as well in this sort of staking side of it. I won't go into too much detail because we'll do a staking video eventually on a number of projects, but you will notice if you use exchanges like Binance that you can stake IOTX directly through there, and that helps with the governance and the voting systems towards these projects. So actually, for me, I do delegate some of mine directly on this platform here. Again, I can do a separate video on this, but you do need to locate yourselves to the IOPay desktop app. I don't think you can do majority of the things on the mobile app, but just download the desktop one. There is a ledger facility coming as well soon, but you can still utilize a ledger if you have one, to access and distribute your tokens to these kind of platforms, allowing you to basically go onto here, stake in the relevant channel that you want to, or the relevant delegate that you pick from this list, and that enables you to help vote and govern the ecosystem to help improve it and move the project forwards as you go along. So that's one thing to take into consideration. And as well as using the IOPay, you can link it as well with various kind of future airdrops where you can link the IOTX token to other projects as well. I will do a separate video on this, of course, as well. Just to make sure as well that I mentioned that IOTX being the token in terms of the staking and helping secure the IOTX network, the ecosystem platform, over 319 million IOTX tokens have been burned already. So just bear that in mind when you're looking at supply chain and things like this, that eventually there will be scarcity, but the idea is at the moment to be influencing and improving the network to be what it is in the near future and improving what it is today. So just bear that in mind. It's something very exciting and very interesting in terms of the tokenomics that are available. And also to mention as well, there's some really good white papers on here around the automation and the machine kind of takeover of almost majority of human activities and actions in the coming decades. They believe by 2030 that there'll be a 10-to-1 ratio of machine versus human, which is quite staggering, really. But IOTX, in terms of the ecosystem, so there's a good little roadmap here. So again, as I mentioned earlier, one of their key aspects moving forwards towards the end of this year is really delving into the machine services and the autonomous arena, and then moving forward potentially into next year and obviously years leading up to sort of the Agenda 2030 mechanism, the machine to machine learning. So that's allowing things to work alongside each other. As I mentioned in a previous video, you've got things like IFTTT programs, which is if this then that, kind of integrating an ecosystem of all the IoT products, whether it be a camera in your home linking with a smart bulb that would allow the light to turn on if motion's detected, or it could be geofencing relating to you being near your home, so the kettle turns on automatically. All of these kind of things, obviously that's household related, but it can relate to things like the medical industry, where eventually I'm sure we'll have the chips built into us if Eon does his boring company chips, that will integrate within our bodies to say that, oh, you're about to have a heart attack or whatever it is, and an ambulance automatically comes to your property, takes you to the hospital, has the operation within the vehicle transportation element, and off you go, and hopefully, quick reaction, survival, etc. So there's multiple things, even in agriculture, machine learning of how and when to harvest, how to and when to propagate or spray with whatever chemicals, or hopefully natural chemicals by then, in terms of helping the growth patterns, help increasing the growth efficiency. So all of these things will be built together on one system, and IOTX is one of those projects that is really helping towards this. They have some great partnerships in place at the moment, not just through smart cameras, but I thought Pebble Tracker was really interesting. So this is around like multi-sensors, like a data oracle, really, using what they call TEE, which is basically Trusted Execution Environment. So this is basically machines and sort of at the moment human interaction, but more so the machine element will take over to learn from its mistakes to keep improving, but more importantly about the trust execution. So only doing things when it knows 100% that is the right thing to do. So let's see how that prevails. There's several other really cool options and projects here that they're linked with. Scale out, again around machine learning. One other one here, health nets. That's what I just mentioned before about health data, medical supply chain, getting the best healthcare to someone as quickly as possible in an automated system. Some really big things going to take over. I'm sure you've seen like drones with like defibrillators and things like this built onto them, where they're actually controlled by humans, of course, at the moment to get into restricted areas or hard to get to areas. But this will become automated for 100% sure in the next 5, 10, 15 years. It would be a massive thing. And there's another project here. I can't find it now. I just literally had a minute. Oh, by the way, Mimo, very interesting. We'll go on to that in a second. They've just done an announcement with IOTX today. So that might be why we're triggering a price increase in the last 24 hours. We'll go on to that in a second. There's another cool little project. I can't find it right now, but to do with what's called TrueStream. So that's enabling basically a decentralized automation, zero latency decision. So when we're talking about the trust element, it's that whole zero latency of having to make an immediate effective decision within a split second that perhaps a human couldn't do. the machine has learned to be able to do and make the decision that a human couldn't. So it'd be interesting to see how that develops over time. So learning mistakes, of course, from many areas, both in the human aspect, but also from mistakes made in the decentralized platforms as well. So it's going to be continuously learning, which is something that IOTX is powering. So really, really interesting stuff as we move forward. Two other things I just mentioned. They are already standardized by two standard consortiums, IIC, which is the Industrial Internet Consortium, how to get that right, and IEEE, so IEEE, which is the Institution of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. So this is really pulling together unbelievable skill sets and brain power from incredible scientists and engineers worldwide. When I see and hear things like this about projects, this is what gets me really excited about them. Not just the fundamental foundation of what the project is doing, but who's backing it, who's behind it, who's working with these projects. So really bullish for me. It's really exciting. And I will do more videos as we go along about IOTX. But yeah, moving forward onto some news here. So yeah, keep an eye on their Twitter. As I mentioned, the MIMO, which is a partial protocol that IOTX powers. So there's a nice little launch with them going at the moment. So as I've mentioned, that could be why we are seeing an increase in the price. We'll just have a look at that right now, actually. We're still in the low spectrum at the moment, like the rest of the market. But hopefully we'll return to the higher levels that it did. I mean, it sounds a bit silly that a high level is 8 or 9 cents, but it's come so far, and even in just this year alone. I mean, let's go to just January, for example, hitting not even half a cent, just about. So we're staggering around the 2 cent mark. You'll see, literally the last 24 hours have been a big spike. I'm gutted I couldn't get the video out 2 days ago when I tried to do it originally. How cool would that have been? I could have maybe claimed that this is because of me. So obviously not me, but it's great to see some progression again. As I've said before, most markets do relate to good news or bad news. This is certainly some good news that's come out in the last 24 hours, and that's probably why we're seeing the bit of spike there. But we have, in the last few days, to be fair, seen a bit of gain. But yeah, let's just be cautious about the market. Nothing's financial advice, obviously, but I always say throw caution to the wind, or don't. So in this case, it can still go down, and we're still in a weird market at the moment. So this is great, but like with XTC and a couple of other assets, we saw some great gains over the last couple of days, and then returning to a level where perhaps it's supposed to realistically be at the moment. But it's certainly a great price to accumulate. For me, it's a long term, but I do have staking at the moment. We'll see where the price ends towards the next couple of cycles, whether I might pull some out and sell some off and buy back in. I don't know yet. But for me, I'm happy to just accumulate for the next couple of years, just based on the technology, the project, and what's about to happen in the IoT world, using blockchain and things like this. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope it's been informative, and you found it of interest in some capacity. Do take a look at their website. Do take a look on their social media for updates as well. And like I said, I will do a couple more videos as soon as I can on this fantastic project. Check out my other videos, which I'll drop links to in a second, on Fetch, which is quite similar, and some other projects around AI and IoT. Again, something I've have experience with through work. I know a lot about the industry and the effects that it will have over the next few years in terms of human lifestyle changes and technology aspects improving our lives. And let's see where this goes. So please do like and subscribe. The video really helps. We're now on Twitter and Telegram, and we've just launched TikTok, so get us on there as well, and we will update you and bombard you with some more crypto fantastic videos and content moving forward. So other than that, guys, it leaves me just to say I hope to see you and IOTX on the moon. Take care. Thank you.